What's up, guys? It's Alex the Magician here, and in this video, as requested by my Twitch viewers, I'm going to talk about hero chaining and using side heroes. I'm actually going to split this up into two videos, and in this first one, I'll talk mainly about hero chaining, and in the second one, I'll discuss using side heroes in a little bit more detail. But this topic is really interrelated because as you're chaining, you also will need to be using side heroes as well. So that's why this topic is kind of combined. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the overall concept and why you want to chain heroes and use your side heroes. And then I'm going to offer you guys a demonstration of how to actually do it, you know, in a real game type scenario. So hero chaining and using side heroes is one of those things that I think really separates the players who are kind of decent from players who are really, really good. If you can get these two things down, it's definitely kind of an advanced maneuver. It's kind of an advanced thing. And I would say that I haven't even mastered it fully. But if you can get these two things down, then you would win most of your games, I would say. Because there are not that many people who know how to do this that well on a really high level, especially when you're playing at a level of maybe until 300 rating or something like that. Your opponents are probably not really going to be chaining that well. So if you can do this well, then you will win most of your games at that level. And the reason that you want to chain your heroes and use side heroes is because when you have a main hero and you have a lot of objects that you want to take, you are not going to want to take all of those objects with your main hero. Because that's just going to take you way too long, and that would mean that you would get into the desert way too late if you're playing Jebus Cross. And that would mean that usually your opponent is already going to be in the center, and that means he's probably going to have an advantage because he was able to find a lot more juicy stuff in that center while you were using your main hero to take all of these objects. So because of that, what you want to do is you want to use hero chains as well as your side heroes to be able to take as many objects as possible as quickly as possible so that you can actually break as quickly as possible as well. And here are a few things that you need to consider when you're actually chaining your heroes and when you're actually using your side heroes. So number one, the hero chain needs to be something that is consistent with your overall strategy, overall plan for your biome game, or even your desert game if you're chaining in the desert. So for example, in this biome, I already did some scouting in turn 1 and 2. I was able to take a dragon cave on turn 2, and I was able to scout 4 experimental shops, right? So immediately, I'm thinking that I'm probably going to need to chain for some of these experimental shops. I definitely want to take all of them. They're pretty close to the road. And that means that I can build a power stack of giants. So my overall strategy is going to be to try to get a power stack of giants so I can do the break. And the break is Scorpicores, right? Now, and I also see another dragon cave over here. But my main hero is over here, and I think I don't really want to take the second dragon cave with my main hero, so I probably want to chain for that as well. However, you may notice that I have a hive really close to my base over here, but I'm not really considering taking it right now, because that is the only hive that I see on the map. So I'm probably not going to have a power stack of Wyvern, and for that reason, I'm not even really considering taking this one. So I'm mainly focusing on my giants, right? So if I were to find another experimental shop somewhere over here or over here, I would want to try to think about how I could chain for that as well. But if I were to find like a picket or a cons or something like that, that would probably be low priority in terms of chaining for it. So what I'm trying to say is that you want to make your chains consistent with the overall strategy, right? So if you are trying to build a power stack of Wyvern, for example, if you have a few hives, then you want to start thinking about how you can chain for those hives so you can actually take them and not waste too much time, right? So what I'm getting at here is that you want to really start to think about your chains ahead of time, and not even 1 or 2 turns ahead of time, which is when you need to start setting up your chains, but to even start to think about them like when you first scout these objects. So of course I'm not even going to chain for these experimental shops for at least another turn or 2, but because I already see them, I'm already making a plan in my head, or starting to make a plan in my head, of how am I going to be able to take them in the quickest possible way, right? So these experimental shops are going to be my top priority. And the other things that you want to consider when you're chaining your heroes and using side heroes are objects that can actually help you do this. So these are things like taverns, these are things like side towns, and these are also things like prisons, because in a prison you can get another hero who's gonna be able to actually add to your chain and give you extra movement, right? And also you need to make sure that if you need to do poor man for chaining with your main hero, you need to make sure that you actually have the gold for it. Because oftentimes for a chain, you will end up poor manning your main hero. For example, here, I'm actually thinking I was able to check this experimental shop, and I sacrificed a hero to do that, and this was actually a 2. So I am able to take a 2 with 2 dragons and the troglodytes that I have. I also was able to check this one, and this is a size 1. But since I can take a size 2, I'm thinking right now I'm going to send my main hero to actually take this experimental shop, then try to check this experimental shop to see if I can take that. And after that, I would poor man my main hero here and go to take this experimental shop. Actually, could possibly use a side hero because that is a size 1. And then check this one and take this one with my main hero if that's a big one. Now, as far as using your side heroes goes, I'm not going to get too far into the detail in this video, but what I will say is that you just want to make sure that when you're using your side hero, you're actually able to take the object. Because if you use a weak hero to take like a size 4 experimental shop or a size 4 picket, or even other objects, size 4 cons, but other objects as well, then you may actually lose your army. So you don't want to do that. However, in some cases, even if you lose a little bit of your army, it may make sense to do that. It may make sense because your main hero may be too far away, and you may want to position him for the break. So for example, like if you take a size 4 cons and you lose 1 or 2 angels with a side hero, you still gain 2 or 3 angels. So that is still profitable in certain cases. Okay, so basically in this game here, I want to chain for, or I want to take these 2 experimental shops. I also want to take this dragon cave, and I want to take these 2 experimental shops. And that's what I'm going to try to base my chain around. So already I'm trying to plan for that, right? And on this turn, right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go for this experimental shop with my main hero. But since I've talked for a little while and my timer is already running low, I'm just going to reload this game because I have saved it. Now, for the sake of not making this video too long, I'm going to fast forward through the fight. Okay, so now that I got those two additional giants, I'm thinking about having Shakti do this experimental shop, and then also to take this dragon cave, probably with a side hero. Of course, as usual, I'm using my other side heroes to scout. Now, there is a tavern over here, but it's really close to the village, so it's not really that much of a reason to use it. But I'm not seeing any other objects here, so I'll just continue with my plan of taking the experimental shops and the other dragon cave, and probably breaking with that, maybe 1-2-2. I mean, maybe 1-2-1 when I get the additional dragons from the dragon caves. I'm going to need resources, so I'm going to use my side heroes to collect that. And here I do think I'm going to need Mage Guild. And I do have slow, which is perfect. So, and Shakti already has earth magic. So I do think that after I take the experimental shops, hopefully Shakti is going to have expert earth by that point. So with the giant stack and the dragons from here, I will be able to go for the break. I think I should be able to do this experimental shop on just 2 dragons and 2 giants. I don't really feel like taking the additional dragon now because I'm not going to be able to bring it back. So that's another thing that you need to pay attention to with your chains, is if you like, it would be useful, it would help to have 3 dragons instead of 2 to take this experimental shop. However, when I am able to actually chain with the side heroes to do this dragon cave, but when I do that, I'm not going to be able to bring the army back. So that's what you need to think about as well, is can you actually bring the army back to your main hero if you need to, if you want to chain for something like that. Okay, auto combat only loses 5, so okay, so now that I have 4 giants, what I'm thinking about is actually Poor Man and Shakti here, and buying a spellbook with them, learning the spells, and then going for these 2 experimental shops. So at this point, what I'll probably do is I'll have the heroes actually chain for this dragon cave. I have enough army to be able to take this with side heroes without really losing anything. And then to transfer the army back so that Shakti can do this experimental shop if he needs to. This one can be done by any hero. But Shakti will need to Poor Man to at least replenish his mana, maybe double his mana, and then to learn the spells and potentially to take this experimental shop as well. So now you see my chains are already taking effect basically, so I'm using these multiple side heroes to go ahead and take this dragon cave and then bring the army back to Shakti so that Shakti can go for this experimental shop. And I'm also going to try to get a side hero to go for this experimental shop because I don't necessarily want Shakti to waste his movement to do that, because this is only a size 1, so any side hero can do that. So maybe I'll send Caitlyn back to do this. Okay, so now I'm going for this dragon cave. Okay, and now that I have 4 giants and 3 dragons, I want to transfer the army back to Shakti, so that I can have a side hero take this experimental shop, and most likely Shakti take this one. And now I need to think about how I'm actually going to bring the army back, right? So now I see that I have Manfred and Luna over here, and Manfred or Luna is only going to be able to get somewhere over here, so I don't really want to bring any heroes up to bring the army all the way to Shakti. So what I want to do is get another hero so he can actually complete the chain. So you see, when I'm actually chaining something, I want to really think about it the turn before so that I can position any extra heroes if I need to. Like, I'm following my general idea. As I was saying, I already kind of planned for this a couple of turns ahead. But now that I know next turn I have to have the army over here, then I want to actually make sure that I'll be able to do that. So I see that I have Manfred or Luna who's going to be able to get over here. So then I position one more hero to actually bring the army here to Shakti. So as you're chaining, the important things that you need to consider are the position of your main hero and where your army is as well. Because usually that's what you're going to be chaining, right? You're going to be chaining your army to your main hero. You're going to poor man your main hero and bring the army back to him, or something like that. So that's usually the main concept. And as you're actually doing that, as you're actually chaining the army to your main hero, you also want to think about what fights do you need your main hero for, and what fights can actually be done by your side heroes. So as you saw here, this experimental shop was actually a pretty hard fight, and so was this one. So I really needed my main hero to do that. And I'm still thinking that I need my main hero to do this fight, because I'm kind of gambling that this experimental shop is going to be big. I know that I can do this one with a side hero, and I knew that with this army I could have done this fight with a side hero. So that was no problem. And that is why I sent Shakti all the way over here, and I did all of this with side heroes. So now that I have all of this ready, let's go for next turn. Alright, and here I'm just bringing the army to Shakti. And in the meantime, I want to take this experimental shop with somebody else. Okay, so actually, I only have 4 1-stacks, and this one messes up my morale. So in this case, I'm actually thinking that I want to get one more hero and build the Pillar of Eyes, so I can actually get some additional 1-stacks to Shakti. So let's do that. Alright, here it looks like Lorelei has pretty much done all she can, so I can probably get rid of her. And I can have Luna over here pick up some additional gold. Okay, so that gives me enough gold to buy one more hero and to get some beholders. Okay, so now I'm going to go for this experimental shop. Well, I actually ended up losing 2 dragons, but I didn't lose any giants, which is my power stack, so I think that result is pretty acceptable. So now, basically, I want to I want to poor man Shakti, and I want to send him for the break. Okay, so now you see that I was actually able to gather all of that stuff relatively quickly by chaining my heroes and by poor manning Shakti and doing the important fights with him. And now I should actually be able to do this break on 117, which is pretty quick. And I would not have been able to do this without all of this planning, without being able to do these things efficiently and actually chain my heroes to transfer the army and to do some of the stuff with side heroes. So just for the fun of it, I am gonna try to do the break just to see if it would have gone okay or not. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything else just because this is pretty much everything that I wanted to show you guys. So all I'm going to do next turn is I'm just going to do the break for the sake of showing you guys how this would have gone. Okay, so you see I was basically able to do the break with pretty much no losses. I did lose the dragon, but I think if I played that a little bit better, I would not have lost the dragon. So you see that with the chaining of the heroes and doing things properly and intelligently, I was actually able to do everything that I could and break on 117, which is quite quick, and I almost have full moves. So I should be able to get quite a bit of stuff done in the center. So this is pretty much what I wanted to demonstrate to you guys. And this is what you can do when you plan properly and when you chain your heroes and know how to use your heroes properly and chain your army and take fights that you can with side heroes. So hopefully you guys learned something from this video. Now, just for the sake of demonstration, I will show you guys another video. This is something that I recorded previously. This is another chain that I made. And I think this will help to demonstrate to you guys that how much you can do and how far you can push your chains. So this was actually from my stream. And basically, check this out. I was playing with Luna, and I was able to actually take 7 heroes. I was able to chain 7 heroes to take a cons, to also take this orb of the firmament, the air orb, because I think I had chain lightning, so I wanted to do that. And to also over here take this Cape of Velocity, which is also a pretty useful artifact. And I actually had 7 heroes chained for all of this, and I was actually doing that. I actually ended up buying some additional heroes to do that. So just a quick demonstration. I will fast forward through this, but I'll show you guys how this went. So basically, the important thing here is that I knew that this cons was at least a size 3 or 4, so I knew that I actually needed Luna to do this. So I had my main hero here to be able to do that. And I had 5 angels, and I knew with her firewall she was going to be able to actually do this without losing anything. If I did this with any side heroes, I would have probably lost something. So I actually positioned her before by poor manning her into this town and positioning her over here. And this was basically the start of the chain where I have the angels and I have, you see I have 3 heroes here to be able to do this. I had 1 hero go through here with the army to kill the Nagas and take this Orb of the Firmament. Then I used this hero. Of course, I positioned all of these heroes a couple of turns ahead of time. And I passed the army all the way here. And then I have these heroes here, so I actually ended up buying 1 more hero, I believe, to be able to transfer the army to them, so that I can also bring the army all the way back to Luna. And I actually end up doing some extra stuff here to try to take some of these churchyards, which I may actually do. I don't remember if I do them or not. I do pick up some additional resources though. But one of the things that I want to draw your attention to is that this chain would have actually not been possible if I only planned for it 1 turn ago. Because I had to position all of these heroes and as you can see, there's no way to bring this hero all the way here in just 1 turn. So I actually had to think of this about 2 turns before that. So this is what I meant when I said at the beginning that you actually need to think of your chains as you're planning your moves, as you're planning your overall strategy, so that you can have heroes in this general vicinity when you do finally want to set up for the chain in 1 turn or in 2 turns. So you see, if I back up over here, I had 2 heroes here. See, I had 2 heroes here positioned for the chain, 1 hero here. Then I ended up buying 1 more hero. Then I had 2 heroes here and 1 hero here. So basically I ended up, and then I had 1 more hero here to be able to bring the army to Luna. So I ended up using 7 heroes for this chain, and I actually ended up buying 2 additional heroes. So then I end up taking Escape of Velocity. I'm just going to skip through this fight. I don't lose anything, as auto combat did. And basically then, once I have the Cape of Velocity, I'm using this hero to bring the army back. So I end up actually getting rid of that hero so I can take the churchyard, because I do have the moves to do that, so why not? Maybe I get a good artifact. Now I see that I don't quite make it to Lebetha over here, so I end up actually buying 1 more hero. And I needed upgraded pixies for the cons, so I end up doing that too. Now, and as I've said before, you see that I do have a tavern there, so I'm able to utilize that because Lebetha couldn't quite make it to Luna, so I buy 1 more hero here to actually be able to bring the army all the way back to Luna. And you see now, I do the sconce basically, and I lose nothing. And I gain, I believe, 3 angels. So with the firewall technique, I'm just going to skip through that. I basically end up doing this with no losses. My firewalls don't quite burn them, but the 5 angels finish whatever I don't burn with no problem, and they don't take enough damage to actually die. So I don't really lose anything here. Okay, and you see, so that was about a 7-hero chain to take 2 important artifacts that were quite far away from each other, plus this sconce, and all these objects were really far away. And this was possible because I was actually able to plan ahead of time, and basically now, what I do is I just town portal Luna and go for the break. So all of this really saves a lot of time, and as you guys saw in the previous map, I was able to save a lot of time by chaining heroes, planning ahead, and using my side heroes. And in this case, I actually did have Town Portal, so I was able to just portal Luna and get her some additional experience, and there was actually a well right near the break, so I didn't need to spend another day in the town to replenish my mana, so I could just go for the break. And I believe I did the break next turn with, I think, no losses or minimal losses. So I hope that you guys found this video helpful. I really hope that I was able to demonstrate how to chain heroes and how to use your side heroes. I will tell you guys that this is a skill that is quite difficult to master. Like I said, I have still not been able to master it myself. And if you're able to do it, you're going to be beating people left and right in this game because, yeah, it is a difficult skill to master, and it really separates kind of the men from the boys, as they say, in this game. If you do have any questions, let me know. If there's anything that's not clear in the comments, let me know. I will do my best to help you guys. I will do my best to explain, but I really do hope that this will at least help you guys to start to think about this in the right way and to start learning how to be able to chain and use your side heroes. So stay tuned for the next video on using your side heroes, where I will explain that in a little bit more detail. And if you guys do want to see more Heroes 3 content, I actually do stream live on Twitch every day starting around noon European time. So if you guys do want to check that out, I'll have the link to the stream in the description below. So if you're interested, you can follow me and you'll be notified when I go live. And if you do want to see more Heroes 3 content, I do release videos on YouTube just about every week as well. So feel free to also subscribe to my channel on YouTube so you get notified when I release more videos. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you found this video helpful, and stay tuned for more videos. Peace.